What is the matrix? Well, the technical definition, if you look in a dictionary, might go something like this. A matrix is the environment or context in which something such as a society develops and grows. A situation or substance within which something else originates, develops, or is contained. Like a womb. When a mother is pregnant and carrying a baby for 9 months, that baby's matrix is the womb for 9 months. That is where it is developed, that is where it is contained, and that is where it physically originates from. Now, this is just the technical definition of what a matrix is. But what we want to focus on is the matrix we live in. How does this apply to us? Now, the movie The Matrix centers on the concept that our world is an illusion. Just like Plato's Allegory of the Cave, how do we know what reality really is? And if you guys aren't familiar with Plato's Allegory of the Cave, I actually made a video on it. It was my introduction into the Matrix control system. So I'll go ahead and put a link below in the description box so you guys can check it out if you haven't seen it. So another example of a matrix, something that we can physically see and even experience, is something like Disneyland. Now, when you go to Disneyland, or any theme park really, the goal is to completely let go of the outside world. When you walk into that theme park or to Disneyland, you forget about everything else. And this works really well when you're a child. When you're an adult, sometimes it can be harder to forget what's going on in the outside world. We tend to let our anxieties of the future and the past get to us, and we don't live in the now fully. But that's besides the point. A child is the greatest example of someone who gets to experience and be immersed in that matrix. When they go and they walk in those doors and they're behind those walls, they forget that anything else exists. And that essentially is the goal of a matrix. It is to control, and it is to influence us into doing something. Now, that something can be good or it can be bad. It doesn't have to be always something negative. You know, you can have a great time at Disneyland, but at the end of the day, it is there to get you to remove yourself from the outside world, to forget about reality for a minute so you can enjoy the context and the environment that you're in. And there's also many other hidden aspects to it, like marketing, things to get you to spend money. You know, its goal is essentially to provide you with a good time, but at the same time suck the most out of you that it possibly can. And we'll go into more details of how that kind of correlates with our reality that we live in. But the fact of the matter is, the point that we want to focus on is that when you walk into Disneyland, you forget everything that's outside of you. And that's essentially what a matrix is. It is, you know, a womb. It is something that is containing, and it is something where something originates, and it allows you to completely forget reality. If you were born in Disneyland or born in a theme park and you knew nothing else besides that, you wouldn't really know that anything beyond the walls of that ever existed until maybe you were told, or you know, you started to question your reality of what's beyond those walls. But that's a great way to understand what a matrix is on a smaller level that we can conceptualize and actually see and experience. When we attempt to think about the nature of existence, the many complexities of life can often stop us before we even start. Life as we know it is complicated. How do we know what is real and what is simply an illusion brought on by our subjective view of the world? How can we be objective about the universe we live in when we primarily only focus on understanding it through the 5 physical senses? Now, like Morpheus tells Neo, you are here because you know something, which you know you can't explain, but you felt it your entire life, that there's something wrong with this world. You don't know what it is, but you can feel it. It's there, like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. Now, no one can be told what the matrix is. You have to see it for yourself. The matrix is everywhere. It's all around us, even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out the window or when you turn on the television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, or when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth. What truth? That you are a slave. You are born into bondage, like everyone else. You are born into a prison you cannot smell, taste, or touch. A prison for your mind. The Matrix is a world that has been designed to distract you from the truth. A world that is set up to keep you living in fear, to keep you feeling insignificant. It is a control system that was built to influence you and purposely deceive you. It is a construct that was erected to control the masses. Now in this video, we're going to be focusing on the third dimensional or physical aspect of the matrix. The matrix most definitely, like all things, extends beyond the realm of our physical senses and past the physical and three-dimensional space. But for now, we're just going to focus on that part.
What is the matrix control system? We see a portion of it in the areas of government, military, medicine, finance, media, education, academia, and religion. These institutions engineer our belief systems and way of life. Their hidden architects may include secret societies, elite bloodlines, corporate syndicates, international bankers, government think tanks, and black ops military networks. Some call this the shadow government, the Illuminati, or the New World Order. This social political machinery is what many consider to be the matrix. But in reality, these things comprise only the outer aspect of the matrix, the part easiest to see, study, and believe in. They are only the branches, whereas the roots extend deep into the occult, alien, and hyperdimensional realms.
Is it possible that we could be blinded about why we exist? Are we, like the people held captive in the matrix, oblivious to why we are here? Have we been deceived into believing that the physical reality that is around us is all there is to life? Is there something more? Is it possible that humankind really is being held captive? What is the truth? In the Matrix, people had no way of knowing that their computer-generated reality wasn't real. But like Neo, we experience things, like a splinter in the mind that does not make sense without the understanding of the existence of the spiritual realm, or a realm beyond the five physical senses. Thankfully, we can be told what the truth is. Though again, like Neo, we have to be willing to see it for ourselves. And I don't mean see it with these eyes. I mean see it with this eye, with our pineal or our pineal gland, our spiritual antenna. Don't try to understand what I'm saying. You have to understand what I'm saying. And like Neo, we are offered two options. First, the story ends. We wake up in our bed, believe whatever it is that we want to believe. Second, we stay, and we see just how deep the rabbit hole goes. As Morpheus says, all that's being offered is the truth, nothing more. The choice is ours. So you can either believe everything that you have been told, you can choose to stay asleep and not care about the nature of your reality, or you can follow me down the rabbit hole, and together we can find out just how far it goes.